this has got to be the most underrated Marvel animated series of all time. Created by Jack Kirby in 1966, the Silver Surfer was a late addition first introduced in Fantastic Four number 48 through number 50, which is now famously known as the Galactus Trilogy. Afterward, the Silver Surfer became a reoccurring character in the future Fantastic Four stories from the mid to late 60s. In 1968, he was given a short-lived comic that spanned 18 issues. Following his first comic title run, he crossed over with several other heroes as ally or antagonist, depending on the character. Having a sizable following and being a staple of Cosmic Marvel, the Sentinel of the Spaceways soon got his own animated adaptation in late 1998. This one definitely slipped under my radar because I thought Silver Surfer only made appearances in the animation medium when the Fantastic Four got a new animated adaptation. But Silver Surfer getting his own animated series when he was barely known to the general public? It almost seems like it wouldn't be the case, but it is. I have never seen this show or heard of it until I began this retrospective. This is my first time watching Silver Surfer. Now, I'm no stranger to Marvel Comics and even Cosmic Marvel, which I dabble in from time to time, but I don't know everything, so some of this may be all new, even to me. So I'm going to do my best. The story begins with Silver Surfer's origins. He was once a man named Norrin Radd that wanted to travel the stars from a planet called Zenn-La, a peaceful planet where numerous alien races coexist and learn from each other and their own respective cultures. The story adapts the Surfer's origins and then goes on an episodic route after episode 3 as he searches for his way to his home planet Zenn-La. Now, while this show does have a lot of characters that are reoccurring, the main 3 are the Silver Surfer himself, Galactus, and Frankie, aka Nova, aka Galactus' second herald. The Silver Surfer is a noble character that's not necessarily a pacifist, but if he doesn't need to fight, he won't. He's a character that's reasonable. Also a character filled with guilt. Why that is, I can't say, but I had forgotten what a good character he is, because in a span of 3 episodes, you really are rooting for him to fulfill his goal. My doubts about a Silver Surfer series were put to rest quickly. Galactus is the devourer of worlds. He eats for self-preservation, not because he wants to, but because he needs to. And while he can be shown to have antagonistic traits, he's not all bad, and has respected those that have stood their ground against him.
Cast me out into the sea of space, and I will find the new worlds you need.
Yet I grow so weary of the endless search.
What of this planet, Master?
I gave a promise once to an honorable man. That planet is not for such as we.
Frankie Ray is an Earthling that just happened to bump into Silver Surfer. It was all a matter of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. When she's healed by the Silver Surfer, her body absorbs some of the power cosmic, which teleports her to Galactus. He takes her as his new herald after falling out with Silver Surfer. She's a regular Earthling that seemingly likes to help others and points Galactus to planets that aren't populated by living creatures. The kid's got her heart in the right place. Out of all the things that happened in the show, I'm surprised Frankie's Earth slaying doesn't confuse any of the cosmic beings she comes in contact with. The writing keeps me invested throughout the entirety of its run. It's really well written and executed. The most surprising part is there is little to no action in this animated series. Just perfectly executed drama with great dialogue exchanges. The character interactions are superb, and as far as I know, really capture what the respective characters' personalities are like. The casting is perfect. This voice for Silver Surfer is just about what I'd imagine the character to sound like.
Time after time I have borne witness to wanderers forced from their homes. Yet never does the sight cease to be a bitter one. To me, my board. My planetary brothers, you must gather yourselves and flee this world while there is still time. This world is young, and while it is filled with energy, It has not yet created life. Your talent for locating whatever you seek makes you the perfect herald for Galactus.
You just say that because you know what a sucker he is for a side of lava.
Props to you, Paula Sembra. Some character voices took a little bit to adjust to, and if you know which ones I'm talking about, you are probably in the same boat as well. Overall, the voices match the characters. The art style is stunning and looks like how Jack Kirby drew it back in the 60s. It's visually appealing to me for that reason. It's as if they took the comic panels and used them as a storyboard, waited a few months, and now the panels are fully animated. It's a much appreciated touch. I have to say, when they get to drawing Earthlings, and I do mean just Earthlings, something just seems off about the art. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just a minor inconvenience as it's only for half an episode. Just like Iron Man and Spider-Man the Animated Series, the show occasionally used CGI, and on the planets and wide shots of Galactus it's not distracting, but on the close-ups of Galactus' face or hands it's very distracting and can take me out of what's going on in the story. They couldn't have just drawn the character like the others. The soundtrack has a very space opera feel to it, and I wish I had access to the tapes. There's some really good music pieces in this show. A very important note that you have to know going into the series is that it takes place in its own continuity and is not connected with the other Marvel series of its time. I thought it was until I saw part 3 of the Silver Surfer's origin, where they rewrote it to where he never met the Fantastic Four and handled Galactus by himself. This is a change that normally wouldn't sit well with me, but for this series they really made it work. It was really well done for how they self-contained it to just Silver Surfer and Galactus' conflict with each other. And as I mentioned before, he crosses over with several cosmic Marvel characters after Galactus casts him out into the deep reaches of the galaxy.
Kirby-Lee quadrant.
I'm surprised they had all those characters cross over, but never had Silver Surfer come across Thor, the Nova Corps, Mephisto, Doctor Strange, Terrax, maybe a planet of symbiotes, the Shi'ar. Would have been really cool. Numerous possibilities. All of these could have happened, but there's just one problem. The show got canceled. No! Not another one! No! Another good Marvel adaptation, and it got canceled. And this one is even worse than the others because it ended on one of the biggest cliffhangers I've ever seen, and only lasted one season despite the fact that viewership was steady and had fan approval. Okay then, what was it? Lack of toy sales? They didn't care about the series to begin with? What was it that got this underrated series wiped from TV screens? Saban and Marvel had a legal dispute, of course. That's just typical that the only business-minded roundtable of executives would cancel this show over something so stupid. And according to the showrunner Larry Brody, they already had 8 episodes written for season 2. All that effort for nothing. Can I read those scripts? Well, even with just one season, it still remains one of the best ones I've ever seen, no matter how short-lived it is. I will say the Silver Surfer 90s animated series is near perfection. With that, true believers and newcomers alike leaves us with just one more 90s Marvel animated series. New York in the year 2099. Many things have changed. On the other hand, some things have remained depressingly the same. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. I'm not reviewing a Spider-Man 2099 animated series. I'm reviewing Spider-Man Unlimited. Not again. No, not again. This can't be how it ends. It can't. Okay. I have a lot to say about this series. I'm Leno Mars of the MMCA Productions crew, and I'll see you next time.